Welcome back, travel bugs! Today we're officially in the south. We'll be exploring the famous Glacier Lagoon, Diamond Beach, and hiking in Skaftafell to see Svartifoss and the famous Skaftafell Jökull Glacier. We'll share all the tips you'll need if you're planning to explore these incredible spots. For those of you following along, we're doing the ring road clockwise over 14 days, and today marks day 11, where we finally get into the popular south coast of Iceland. We left Hofn in the morning, where we explored Vestrahorn the day before. The video is linked if you missed that and if you wanted to check that out. The weather today was forecasted to be rainy and gray, and we had a total drive of about 2.5 hours or 194 kilometers. Even in you can still find lots to do in Iceland, and just make sure to have really good waterproof gear. Today it's raining all day.
Yeah, we've gotten a taste of all the elements.
Yeah, that we have. See the glacier out there. You can see that there are 2 glaciers to the distance there. Our first stop of the day was Diamond Beach and the Glacier Lagoon, which is about an hour from Hofn. This place is super popular, so try to get here early in the morning if you do want to find adequate parking. There's going to be lots of tour groups here, but you can definitely explore this area on your own if you wanted to either spend less time here or save a little bit of money. We arrived here about 7:30 a.m. and it was already pretty crowded. We wanted to beat the crowds, and we had considered doing a boat tour, but we had skipped it since we wanted time for hiking this day. That said, these tours are amazing if you want a closer view of the glaciers, and there's a difference between the duck boat tour, which is about $45, and the Zodiac tours, which is about $100 per person. The one that gets you up close, if you've watched other YouTube videos, happens to be the Zodiac tours. That just transitioned from the boat to here. Even for hiking, there's different options that you can do. So we did the short hike, which is the east side, and that was only about 1.3 miles total. That took you to both the Glacier Lagoon and the Diamond Beach. There's a longer hike if you wanted to do the west side, which is about 4.5 miles, and both of those are attached in the description, and you can find it on all trails, which I love. And before we actually went here, we didn't know this, but Diamond Beach and the Glacier Lagoon is actually part of the same area. So you can park in one spot and walk to both locations. So Diamond Beach gets its name from the clear chunks of glacier ice that break off and are scattered around the black sand beach. It's actually quite small, and we spent most of our time during this visit watching the seals in the Glacier Lagoon. So it's actually quite beautiful, and no 2 visits are ever the same because the amount of glaciers that break off change throughout the day and then obviously throughout the year. Oh, there's a seal, babe!
He's swimming against the tide.
Our little guy earlier made it. So our next stop was to try to do Múlagljúfur Canyon, which is about 20 minutes from the lagoon. So this was one of the things that I was looking forward to the most in Iceland, but unfortunately it really depends on good weather. So instead we drove about 45 minutes from the Glacier Lagoon and Diamond Beach to our lunch stop. So before lunch we did do 2 quick pit stops right off the road. So the great thing about Iceland is if you keep your eyes peeled, there's so much to see. The one important thing is to make sure that these stops are actually on turnoffs and not just parking at the side of the road, because this is actually really dangerous for both yourself and other drivers. Okay, we're here. We weren't able to go to Múlagljúfur Canyon. Go to the Veiting Asala restaurant and then go to Skaftafell. So the one pro tip that I have for you guys is to make sure to get the daily special. So we tried this, which was a lamb dish, and also we got a burger, but the burger not only took a lot longer, it also wasn't as good as the daily special. So just get the daily special if you are contemplating, and it was fantastic. So after lunch, we decided to do a longer hike at Skaftafell in order to see Svartifoss. So because we weren't able to do the Múlagljúfur Canyon hike, we decided to do the 4.5 mile loop at Skaftafell. So this 4.5 mile loop is really cool because it allows you to see Svartifoss along with 2 of the smaller waterfalls, in addition to a stunning viewpoint of the Skaftafell's Jökull Glacier, which flows from Vatnajökull, which is Europe's largest ice cap. Okay, we're about to hike the Svartifoss, the Mungerfoss, and something Foss, the Hunderfoss.
And the glacier too.
And the glacier overlook. So it'll be about 4.5 miles. We're gonna do it counterclockwise so that it's steeper on the incline and we get the view of the glacier. And this is the parking lot. It's free?
It is free. No, wait, no.
It's not free. This is actually not too easy of a hike. I would say this is kind of moderate and it does have a pretty steady climb in the beginning. So we did this hike counterclockwise and I think this gives you the best view because you're actually starting to approach the glacier viewpoint versus if you were to do this clockwise, you would hit the waterfalls first and your descent would actually not be able to see the glacier that well. So I highly recommend doing this counterclockwise. No. Slight right. That. Trail. We're gonna actually start the trail this way. Just have to make sure. I think it goes this way, and then you can choose between left and right eventually. So I think this is where it splits. And we take this way up. So you'll cross. There might be more bugs on here then. But just to. You can see the parking lot from here. Definitely waterproof shoes. Oh, yuck. Okay. Oh. This is rough when it freshly rained. There's the view. And that's where we parked over there. Amazing. Okay, it's gonna continue like this for a little bit. So we'll come back when there's other information. Okay, we're about 5 more minutes in. You can kind of see the glaciers peeking through the bushes. A lot of bugs here, so we're not stopping as much. But here, let me show you the glacier in the distance there. And then there's another one right there. So yeah, there's an alternate between rocks and mud and stairs. And in the fresh rain, it is quite muddy. So we'll see if there's other views. Okay, so we went an additional 5 minutes from our last video. Huh? 5 minutes? Hello. Look at the glacier here. Oh, this is the most I can see.
Hiking this.
It might.
Or is it the only one?
It might go inland. I don't know.
Okay, we'll see.
We'll see. So there it is. Okay, actually, just 1 minute later, it went up. I thought it was going inside, but look at that. Wow. It's open field.
Huh.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Full view.
Yeah. What's cool is actually once you get to the viewpoint, this is about 2.5 miles in, and this is your midpoint area. You're gonna be standing where glacier ice once sat just decades ago. So when you're doing this hike, it's really cool because Skaftafell Jökull actually still looks really large and powerful, but standing here is a reminder that these massive landscapes are changing really quickly. So Iceland has lost about 15 or 16% of its glacier volume over the last 30 years, and some of them have vanished completely. So it's a constant reminder of all of the changes that are happening to our world daily. Okay, we made it to the glacier viewpoint. This is the halfway mark, about 2.2 miles in. It's really beautiful. We can't capture much because it's sprinkling and Pocket 3 doesn't do well with that. So this is a really cool nifty thing. You can measure and document the glacier today and share it, so there's a historical moment. Kind of shows us that we should be more careful of the things and choices we make. There's people down there. So after the glacier, we had about a mile trek inland, and this was actually probably the flattest hike that we've seen so far. So you're gonna just be crossing kind of like an open landscape, and it started raining pretty hard during this time. So just make sure to download all trails to follow the track pretty closely, because we did get a little bit lost for the first few minutes. So just make sure to follow it closely because it's not too well marked. And you're not going to see very many people doing this loop, so we only saw maybe about 2 other groups on this side of the hike. Okay, we went about 2 minutes into those other steps and then it turned into dirt. But now we hit more steps about 10 minutes later, and you can see the ocean there. You can see a river in that distance, and we think it turns into Svartifoss in a few bits. Here we're seeing more of the river that likely turns into Svartifoss. There's the trail that way, and that's where we came from. And that's Hector. Okay, so we made a left at the Svartifoss, and then we're gonna go to the bridge. And here it is. We're gonna cross the bridge, and it's gonna go to Svartifoss. After about a mile in, we almost reached Svartifoss, also known as the Black Falls. This is named for its dramatic basalt columns that resemble church organ pipes. It's said that the famous church in Reykjavik was designed after this. It's one of the most photographed waterfalls in Iceland, and it's easy to see why. When we went in October, there was fresh snow on the ground and it was raining as we got there, so the magic of the waterfall was just so crazy. Wow, look at that. This is the way down to the Svartifoss waterfall, so we walk down that path. There are going to be, even in the rain in October, there was about 20 people that were at the waterfall when we got there. So I imagine in the summer or in good weather, it's going to be very crowded. So just keep that in mind and try to go early in the day or later in the day if you're able to kind of avoid the crowds. Okay, we just passed the viewpoint or the point back to the parking lot. We have 1.1 kilometers left. This is Magnusurfoss. This is Magnusurfoss and Hundafoss. So these are lesser known, and you're really only going to see these as you are going to Svartifoss or coming back from the parking lot, but they're really beautiful as well. They cascade through these steep moss-covered ravines, and even though they're quieter, they're still much more powerful than a lot of the waterfalls you'll see anywhere else in the world. If you're planning to do the full loop, I highly recommend trekking poles, especially on the loop side towards the glacier. You're gonna need it a lot more, but the downhill with trekking poles definitely helped as well. And finally, even though we didn't get to everything that we planned, our day was jam-packed. We ended our day driving another 30 to 45 minutes to our hotel for the night, which was Magma Hotel. We booked this just a day or two before after changing some plans, and this is stunning. So this will run you about $200 to $300, and each room is an individual hut. So you'll get a lot of privacy here, and it actually looks like it's a beautiful sunset if you're able to get clear skies at that time. Okay, so we're turning into the Tunga and Magma Hotel. And look, it's little shacks. It's little guest houses. This is like $260 a night. This was $260 today.
Oh, QSP all the way over. A lot of cars parked, and it's mid-October.
This was booked. I mean, so this is the reception.
$10 stuff right there.
Huh? This is where the... And we also had dinner there, which was really good. It was one of the favorite meals of Iceland that we had, and we were lucky. We came around 5 o'clock and we didn't need reservations, but they said that they usually book out a couple days ahead at least. So definitely make reservations before you come on this trip if you're planning to be around that area. So that was it. That was our day 11 on the Ring Road. Tomorrow we have a much busier schedule and we're going to be doing the major waterfalls in the south. So we're going to be hitting Skogafoss, Seljalandafoss, we're going to be doing the yoga cave and much more. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, and if you want to subscribe for more future videos, take care. Bye.
And shout out to Bonus for sponsoring
Shout out
this
to
adventure.
Bonus for this hat. I'm warm. Okay, the south is definitely